My heart like you do, and I could search for all eternity long and find there is none like you, there is none like you.
You just get this nagging, you just get this urging that over history I realize I can contribute to the Lord's leading and His Spirit, that you need to do something in this particular way, and so you just try to follow His will as to the best of your ability. So, I'm starting a new sermon series. And it's triggered by the fact that there is a television series coming out on the History Channel called The Bible. Now, you've heard me say it before, and I'll say it again, that most anything having to do with the Bible on the History Channel, you just really would find better material someplace else. Because they discount miracles, they discount Christ, they're always explaining things away, and they're not Christians as much as trying to present a Christian testimony. However, there is a Christian couple that did come together and create this television series called The Bible. Every Sunday night, starting March 3rd, for 2 hours, it's going to be on the History Channel. That's on cable. If you don't have cable, I'm sorry. Maybe you can go to someone's house and watch it. I have seen the previews. It's supposed to be good. I'm going to ask if these lights get turned off. And the stage lights too. And we don't have our new video projection system in yet, so, might be a good explanation as to why. But go ahead, Ernie, and run that for me.
God warned me. He told me to build a boat.
God has spoken to me.
He will lead us to a new home. He has promised descendants as numerous as the stars.
Who are you? My name is Moses. God has sent me to set you free.
The Lord brought us out from Egypt, promised us this land. Soon it will be ours.
Jerusalem, a new home.
David, you have forged God's nation on earth.
It's a trap for all of us. They want us dead.
God is bringing disaster from Babylon!
Lady, I believe your son is the promised king of his people. What is his name?
Jesus. His name is Jesus.
After March 4th, we'll be able to see things like that a lot more clearly under our new video projection system. So I'm sorry for the vagueness. So, to lead into that, this morning, I decided I am going to preach through the entire Bible. I hope that you brought your lunches with you and your suppers. I am sincere that to some degree I am going to preach through the entire Bible. But it's not going to be cover to cover from Genesis to Revelation. Rather, it's going to be from the book of Hebrews, chapter 11. Hebrews chapter 11. Now, we have study materials, and we are going to be going through these study materials that coincide with these 2-hour video episodes on Sunday night. We're going to study these Bible study materials on Wednesday night during our Wednesday night Bible study. And so you're invited to that. We have books that go with the study. They run about $7 a piece, and they will be for sale. We are going to study the Bible, and we're studying it from Hebrews chapter 11. Assumptions can be dangerous. For example, a photographer of a national magazine was assigned to get photos of a great forest fire. Smoke at the scene hampered him, so he asked his home office to arrange for a plane. They agreed, and arrangements were made, and he was told to go to a nearby airport where the plane would be waiting. When he arrived at the airport, a plane was sitting there, warmed up on the runway, and he jumped in with his equipment, and he yelled, "Let's go, let's go, let's go!" And so the plane took off, and they were in the air. And he told the pilot, "Fly over the north side of the fire." And the pilot said, "Why?" He said, "Because I'm a photographer. I need to get good pictures. And so that's what I'm paid to do. I'm a photographer." And the pilot said, after a pause, "You mean you're not the instructor?" You have to be careful about assumptions that you make. Now, this video series that's going on, I can tell you already, there is going to be some artistic license take place. And anytime, whether it's the movie Jesus or whether it's the Ten Commandments or whatever is the case, you won't always see things exactly as the Bible has it. And if you have a question about something, I'll be glad to bring it, to answer it for you. However, it still should be good. The writer of Hebrews gives a history lesson to his audience that's mostly made up of Jewish people that have been converted to Christianity. And they're dealing with getting rid of the Old Testament covenant and embracing the New Testament covenant. So in the book of Hebrews chapter 11, he starts talking about people that every single one of his audience should know and be able to relate to and show how they fit into the picture of being heirs with us to the promise of the coming Christ who did come in the form of Jesus Christ. He says in verse 1, "Now faith is the confidence in what we hope for, and the assurance about what we do not see. This is what the ancients were commended for. By faith we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible." One of the first things we want to do as we step into this is to understand the definition of faith. The definition of faith. Now, I have faith that I can sit in this chair and it shouldn't collapse on me. It doesn't require a whole lot of faith because it's made of steel construction. And it's here, it's present, I can feel it, I can touch it. It's kind of comfy. And so I have faith that chair can hold me. But that's not real faith. It says here that faith is the confidence in what we've hoped for and the assurance of what we don't see. In other words, we know for a fact that something is, even though we don't see it, even though we haven't been there, even though we have not been able to touch it with our hands. We have assurance, we have confidence, we know for a fact that it's real and that it's true. That is faith. Faith turns hope into reality. You say, I hope I go to heaven. No. Faith says, I know I will go to heaven. Faith says, hope says, or some people may say, I hope there is a heaven. Faith says, there is a heaven. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Faith turns hope into reality. And this world needs hope, and our hope is Jesus Christ. But the fact of the matter is Jesus Christ. Faith turns blindness into sight. You know, there are some times when you're driving down Highway 40 from the west, let's say out past, I can't remember a single name of a town out. What's that? Millville, out past Millville. Okay, I've never even heard of Millville. I'm sorry, I just never heard of it. But out, it could be in Kansas for all I know. But out due west on 40, and you're driving back east on 40, you can get to a point to where the ground's a little higher, and you can actually see downtown Indianapolis. But there's other times, whether it be because of fog or smog or summer atmosphere, whatever's the case, that you can't see downtown Indianapolis as you're driving to the east. But you know it's there for a fact, even though you can't see it. Well, you say, well, that's easy because I've been to Indianapolis. I know Indianapolis is there. But it's the same way as we go through this life. Most of the world is blinded, their vision is fogged up, and they hear about heaven, but they can't see heaven. They can't identify heaven. But you and I can see heaven, not because we have supervision, but that we have faith vision. And because of faith vision, we can see it as clearly as Indianapolis on a cold, clear winter day. Faith turns blindness into sight. Look at verse 4. By faith, Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did. By faith, he was commended as righteous when God spoke well of his offerings. And by faith, Abel still speaks even though he was dead. By faith, Enoch was taken from this life so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. And without faith, it is impossible to please him. Because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists, and he rewards those who earnestly seek him. By faith, Noah, when warned about things not yet seen in holy fear, built an ark to save his family. By faith, he commended the world and became heir of the righteousness that is in keeping with faith. By faith, Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive as an inheritance, obeyed and went even though he did not know where he was going. By faith, he made his home in the promised land like a stranger in a foreign country. He lived in tents, as did Isaac and Jacob, who were heirs with him of the same promise. For he was looking forward to the city with foundations, whose architect and builder is God.